channel. Yeah, and I turn on the light so you can see what I can see and I can see what they were seeing. Like I was saying at the end of the last video there, how this brake lever mechanism will work, it would have done the job. But like I said, with that bolt where the spacer slides on, it's sticking out really fucking far for my taste. And I know choppers aren't, you know, designed to be, you know, cutting curves like a Dyna, but I still want to make sure when I lean to the right, I ain't grinding nothing, I ain't making no sparks off of it, because a lot of this shit's going to be finished off with chrome or brass. So I don't want to be scraping that up anytime soon. So what my design is once I finish cutting off all these tacks up here, you see I have a Sharpie mark right around there. So what this means, let me just picture this with me here. Normally, it'll be pushing down like that, right? Makes sense. Kind of looks like any other stock motorcycle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these tacks off, chop off the spacer right near the middle, right on the outside of my piston arm. And I'm going to relocate this arm to go straight forward underneath the reservoir, 9 degrees up to the right. Cut up the pedal again, and instead of using just a straight bar, round bar, square bar, I'm going to use a chain for my brake arm. Now I did a proof of concept on this bitch already. And you see right here, the dangles there. If I pop it right up in the vise here, now keep in mind these are just lightly tacked in. So if I were to actually put my weight into it, it's shaking the table before it's actually breaking free. Now the only weld that broke was a shitty tack I did last night. So the fact that I can put that much force onto it with my whole body weight, just pushing down with my foot, ain't going to snap it. So this was an excellent proof of concept. So in this episode I'm going to be working on remodifying my brakes. And oh, dog's just playing a little ninja with the tripod. And I'm going to actually start working on my shifter as well, the shifter location. And who knows, maybe I can start tacking up the rear pegs as well. Stay tuned and find out. Alright, as you see here, like I said, this was going to be way too long. It almost looked like a secondary peg. So, you can see we got that little dot right there. That's where I'm going to make my new arm to come out, maybe just before the end of the reservoir brace here, and let's just say halfway, so about 2 inches out, 9-degree bend, and then this is where my new brake lever is going to be. So I can shorten this whole unit up, rule of thumb, let's just say about a good solid 2 inches, which means we're going to have to take off this whole brace here, chop off this so we can shorten down the lug here. Let me just show you what it looks like without it. A little tricky to get out. Shut that down there. I actually had to make an additional spacer because my math was wrong. So, like I said, we're going to have to cut down this whole unit here, and that weld I ain't too happy with. So we're going to cut this off, finish it off, clean it up, take about, let's just start with about a good 1.5 inches, 3/4 inches, tack it on, put it all together, and just see what it looks like from there, because I want to keep as much thread up here, because this is what's going to help secure my brakes, my brake arm system. So I'm going to head back to the workbench, chop it off, go back and forth, put the spacer back on, and we'll see how we're going to go about bending that piece of metal, eh? Alright. See you shortly. Well, definitely committed now. That's ain't about shoppers and customs, but the moment you make yourself the first cut, you better be very goddamn committed to it. Stuff that right down there. So this is just some extra space here I'm gonna have around to play with for probably another project. Hell, if this portion comes out right, my next chopper will probably have something like that on. Bring this back out. So now the game plan is hop back over. I'll just do this quickly off camera. Hop back over, do a few more measurements, and then I'll get back to you once we figure out how we're going to bend this bitch. And stay tuned. I got something better than some stock ass pedal for the brakes. All right. See you shortly. Alright, so this is the setup I have. These are some of the old fire brakes I used for my forge when I was twisting my down tube. Some of them broke, so I'm going to try using this as an insulator, because if I had it up in the vise will act like a heat sink, drawing more heat away because it wants to heat up everything. So by having something insulated, the only thing that will heat up and will avoid heating up will be the brick, and what wants to heat up will be the bar. Okay, doing a quick checkup. It's actually heating up really nicely. So they're gonna, yeah, it's not too toasty here. There's a little bit of redness. I'm not gonna pick on camera, but it is starting to heat up. Keep in mind, this is quarter inch, quarter inch, if not a little bit bigger, maybe 5/16. Yeah, I think it's about 5/16 rod. So it's going to take a little bit to heat up, especially with a single propane burner like this, but it is going in the right direction. So when it gets up to the right temperature, I'll get back to you. Alright, we're going up to the critical temperature here. Turn up the light so I can see it better, and the dog is howling again. God damn, boy. God damn! Alright, so turn this off. Now I left a little notch right there where I want the bend to go, so I'm going to go just above the notch. And, oh yeah, slide a little bit. Come on, boy. 90 degrees, please. No more. I dare say that's 90 degrees, boy. Oh, that's toasty. That's some fiercely toasty. Oh yeah, see? Nice 90-degree bend, so it'll come out from underneath the reservoir, and I can just chop it right about here, right about there-ish, and then I can put my new brake lever, weld that up onto it, into the shape I want it. So I'm really glad that this forge panned out. So, shut up. So I'm going to chop it down in this shape, probably tack it up into place, and I'll get back to you when I'm going to start laying out the design for my brake lever. Alright? Or the brake pedal lever. Alright? Alright, welcome back. So, straight enough, I'm going to be using the front half of my original frame to give the chain a nice gentle radius. I just had to cut off a tab, grind it down. It looks really good, so I'm just gonna leave maybe a few links unwelded, just so that way I can have some articulation play, figure out what angle I want them at for the pedal. And I know I gotta leave a few links down here 90 degrees for, where did I put it? I'll put it somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we'll just use this piece. So we gotta use enough space so when I mount the bottom end of the lever to the control arm for the lever, I want to leave enough linkage so I can actually almost do a bit of a wrap around. And then we'll have to plan out from how I'm going to put the actual pedal that I'm going to use on. But it's time to suit up. I got my TIG machine warmed up, argon's on, and yeah, we're just going to start putting a few tacks on. Probably put you on time lapse, and we'll get going. Oh, that's a fuse. That's a fuse there, brother. Alright, I'm gonna articulate it a little bit more. Now the good thing about this, yeah brother, that's what I'm talking about. So I got fused up, just a few more little ticky-tacky spots. Yeah, right about there, brother, right about there. Thinking about doing something custom. It doesn't really fit in some typical location. And let me just fuse up on the inside here, brother. There we go. I was gonna reinforce the rear end. Dangle this son of a bitch right on that tail right there. Yes, sir. That's gonna hold. Yes, sir, ball. Now the question is, yeah, I bet if we're gonna take it right up on in there. Yes, sir, ball. Get a nice little angle. Got that son of a bitch right on down there. That's fused. I'm gonna try sticking it right up on Nathan here. Yeah, buddy, right on there, right in there. Hit it with a Zeus. Nope, that just made it look a little ugly. I hate the zip-a-zip-a-doo. Yep, didn't really want to do that, but I can grind that shit away, no problems. But overall, ooh, that's Toti, which means she's going to be warm. Toti means penetration. Turn up my goddamn music here. Dark y'all proper. Alright, so as you can see right up and on here. Now you can see again. Yep, alright. Woo-wee! Oh, that's Toti. Yep, put my gloves on. Put at least one glove on, Michael Jackson style. There we go. So this is right here what we call a funkadelic fucking brake chain. Yep, we got ourselves a brake chain instead of brake lever. So all that's left is to mount this onto the pivot arm right up there and figure out what I'm going to do for, well, I know what I'm going to do for the pedal. I just got to figure out how to mount it all. And I'll get right back to y'all in here in soon. Yeah. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with myself these days. Nope, she's holding. God damn, not the easiest fucking weld to do. Ugh. Sounds like this, I wish I had myself a proper fucking lift. If I try using the typical ATV jack, on the ass end would come up because this son of a bitch is so front heavy like Dolly Parton on a cell phone pole. Let me tell you something, brother. Alright, but yeah. Alright, so it's tacked into place, but not that strong, so which means I gotta disassemble this and bring it back to the bench and put a few more proper tacks in there. And then we can actually start figuring out the pedal portion of this bastard. And then I can finally start calling it good and start working on the rest of the goddamn parts I need to do. Alright, see you back on the bench. Oh boy, okay. So that took a little longer. I made just an odd mistake here and there, but I got all sorted out. Still a little, yeah, it's a little toasty. But it's all solid chain. If I were to just connect y'all some of the bitches from off of this, bring y'all all the way up and out. Oh shit. Alright, that's the first time that camera pole did that. Oh, bitch. Okay, well, I'm not gonna take y'all's off right now. Here, I'll get you guys back in the camera. Angle there. Anyways, so the chain is actuated. So if I pull down the chain here, it's engaging that pump like I said. And like I said, she's fucking strong, alright. It's only been tack welded on the inside of the chain, but repeated, look at that son of a bitch, usage, so that double 90 from underneath the reservoir and up, it's performing just right. And I was able to shave off about almost 2 inches right off the original stud mount. So it's just lever and peg now, and you have this big ass bolt at the bottom, which cleans up the whole look, I'd say, pretty damn well. I think the only thing I'm going to do to secure the nut is do a axle king nut style, where I'm going to drill a hole right through and run a cotter pin through. So that way there's still a little bit of place that won't bind. And if there's any corrosion on the inside, it'll still have some play instead of stiffening up and staying on, locking up my rear brakes. Alright, so right about now we're going to be fixing on taking the zip cut, and we're just going to be carefully, okay, I want to make sure make sure my vise is locked up. There we go. So I'm going to carefully just cut right within the ridge, right about there-ish. It's brass, so it should cut really easily, which means it can get away from me, so I gotta take my time with the process. So, what's the best way to slow down? Have a beer. Alright. Get the cord hole out the way. Get the cutting. Yeah! Look at all that shininess. And, believe it or not, yeah, we still have a bottom, which means we still have a cup. Hell yeah, bro! Whew! No word of a lie, that took almost 2 discs just to cut off. And since it's brass, it's going to stay hot for a little while, so we're going to leave it on the vise here. And probably polish it up a little bit. I might just leave it like that, I don't know. But I'll get back to you once we get ready for maybe some drilling, or we're going to figure out what to do for the back plates. Alright, see you shortly. Alright, so it's been about a minute. She's getting nice and cherry. So I'm going to turn off the torch first. Oh yeah, she's good. Yeah. So I'm going to stick it right at the shoulders here. Just slightly. Get down low. Ready then. Grab the hammer. Give her a good whack. That's gold. There we go, we got 9 degrees. Grab your little quench bucket. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Well, of course. So you can see here, this is how I'm going to have it roughly laid out. So it's going to be welded right up into the junction up in on here. And I'm going to drill out 2 holes. Well, I'm probably going to drill out this plate first, and it's going to sit right on the inside like that. So you can picture the pedal, my foot being right up here, pushing down on it, and having all this plated. So it's all going to look like one piece of steel, or same type of steel at the very least. So all I have to do, I'm not obviously using this piece, this was just a test piece. This will fit either on this type of configuration of chain or this side, so I have options. So the idea now is I'm probably going to have to trim it down on the sides and cut it back off here a little bit. Like I said, I just got to figure out, drill 2 holes, hit with a center punch, drill them out again, tap them, machine screws, and I got myself a pedal. So I'll get back to you guys once I get everything set up, for at least down to the tap and die, because drilling's drilling. You don't need to overcomplicate that shit. Alright, I'll be right back. Oh, welcome back. We are just setting up the first tap. So we got one more hole to tap, and we can give it a little test fit. Have a little look-see. And tomorrow or the next day or so, depending when my bike gets back with my shifter knob, we can get started on the jack shift. So I'll get back to you once this final hole is tapped. Because I'm about tapped out tonight, let me tell you what, brothers. And like I said, tomorrow evening, what you got you? There we go. And we'll get back to you tomorrow when it's more light and I'm more energetic. Catch you later. Hey guys, been back. Been a few days for me. Like I said, take the editing. Don't even half a second for you. Where we last left off, if memory serves me correctly, because this is a different SD card. We drilled and tapped the hole for the 40mm artillery shell to be the pedal. And I also made that tab to bolt onto. So let's see what it looks like all together. There she goes. Let's see if we can actually close right in for you guys so you can actually see what the hell is done going on. So right in, there we go. So, new tripod, trying to get used to it. Sorry. But yeah, there's the pedal. It works. I am going to Loctite down these screws, and I think I might have room to put a backing locking nut on there. But for now, this will hold. I just had it welded up in place. So this concludes the brakes. Everything else I'm probably going to do off camera, like solidifying welds in the back and cleaning up the back plate here. But I think it's time to get started on the next phase of this episode.